Red Bull's PR nightmare intensifies today as just a day after they announced that they're canning Sergio Perez, they announced that Liam Lawson will be his replacement. And we're very quick to start posting a lot of content with him. Yeah, just we're here to go over it all. I want to start with all of the interviews that were posted like directly after this announcement. First and foremost, Red Bull posting the interview 14 hours ago with this pit stop one coming out 11 hours. But Red Bull essentially posted this like the second that it was announced, and people are not happy. We'll just say people are not happy. All of the comments are essentially about Yuki, and it looks like they're getting rid of some comments, but I'm really a big fan of Liam. Really appreciate how sincerely. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're deleting some comments. We'll be honest, because look at the stats on their Instagram. They are down like almost 400,000 subs now, over 300,000 subs in the last 2 days between these announcements. And the main thing I want to say in this video is, did they learn nothing? We did the same shit with Ricardo in the middle of the year with Perez. Everyone thought coming out of Belgium into the summer break that Ricardo was going to replace Perez, and it seemed imminent. And then obviously Formula One and FOM blocked that transaction. They wanted Sergio Perez on the team for the rest of the season, specifically because of the Mexico GP coming up. But they did the same thing then after with Daniel Ricciardo, because they didn't say anything in Singapore, didn't say a word, and then right after the race, it's like, all right, he's canned, and then like it's like you didn't even take a breath, and it's already like, okay, and Liam Lawson's in for him now. They didn't learn from that. They got all the backlash from handling the situation with Ricardo so poorly back then, and they did the exact same shit again with fucking Lawson here and Sergio Perez. What not? It's barely even been a day since the announcement of Sergio Perez. Both of them, I've woken up in the morning and I've had the announcements. So obviously these announcements are probably happening in like EU time or whatever. But I'm waking up to these announcements 2 days in a row, and I saw that and I was like, oh my god, bro. They did the same shit. You couldn't wait a day. You couldn't wait a day. Me personally, I'm assuming that they just thought their strategy to me seems like, okay, we have some bad news that people are not going to like. So let's just throw it all on them at once and then just let it dissipate and go away. Terrible strategy, first of all. Terrible strategy. Um Take a look at what Ferrari is doing with Carlos Sainz. I mean, that's not a great situation either, but they handled that so much better. I mean, they had Carlos Sainz and his dad racing around in the Ferrari for one last time. Did a nice thing for them with that. Had them on the track just like they had the Leclerc brothers. Red Bull can't fucking take a hint, man. You didn't realize people don't like when you get rid of like. Listen, I think Ricardo's more unanimously liked across F1 by fans than Perez is, but Perez has a massive fan base, and when you have a fan base like any national fan base like that, that's like only behind that one driver essentially, like Mexico for Perez, they came out in the comments, man. They were there. They let their voices be heard, and that resulted in Red Bull losing like 300,000 subscribers plus. So, granted, a lot of their other social platforms, I don't feel like going through all of it, but a lot of the other social platforms aren't taking as big of a hit. But right now, they're down 140% in followers. So that's kind of rough. And maybe the reason for that is because all they've been fucking posting is fucking Liam Lawson, man. Let me move myself out of the way here. All they're posting is fucking Liam Lawson. Look at this. This is the announcement. This is the last one for Perez. Oh yeah, we love you. Yeah. Oh yeah, Max and Perez. Oh yeah, Verstappen. Yeah. And then oh yeah, the first Mexican driver to take pole position. And then right after, 5 hours later, and he's gone. And now Liam Lawson. Now we'll just spam Liam Lawson posts all day. And then they had to try to stop the bleeding, so they put up a picture of Max Verstappen with literally no caption or any reason for the picture being there. And if my fucking comments would load, they had to post this to stop the unfollow. It's the top comment. And that's exactly what they did. They literally dug themselves such a hole that they were like, let's just put a picture of Max up there and hope people will just like us again. Like, let me just remind you why you guys are here. It's not for Liam Lawson or Perez, it's for Max, right? Oh man, whoever does their PR, whoever does their marketing and PR, get them the fuck out. Whoever does the strategy for that or whatever, really bad decision making. I'm just going to be honest. They could have handled it so much better. And Yeah, let's go over what Christian Horner had to say too. So this is one quote from Horner. I can't find exactly where this is from because it just says Christian Horner on Liam Lawson. It doesn't have a source, but it says he's a real racer, not afraid to mix it with the best and come out on top. I don't mean to be like that guy, but does that mean that Yuki's not a real racer? Is that what that means though? Because that's going to be the next part of this. How does Yuki Tsunoda not get that spot? I'm gonna go over because a lot of people are upset about that, and I have the reasons why, and I get it, but I also think it's just a terrible idea. So let's go real quick over this history of Yuki Tsunoda and his different teammates at VCARB or RB, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Tsunoda versus Gasly. This was 2021, and yeah, didn't do very well. Out qualified 31 to 10, I guess that's counting every session. Finished ahead 21 to 8. So he got pretty steadily outpaced in his first year by Pierre Gasly, who now has gone on to become a pretty solid driver, especially in the last couple of races going forward. So his stock's up a lot. And I guess, yeah, not a great looking comparison for Yuki because they kind of developed around the same time. Gasly was a little bit before. I think, but anyway, Tsunoda and DeFries. DeFries should not be in F1. He's fucking terrible anyway. Yuki obviously smacked him 8-2 in qualifying, 7-2 in the races, and scored the 2 points that they had between them. So not much to go on there. Not much of a comparison. So you can't really use that to his advantage. Tsunoda versus Ricardo. Now, obviously, Ricardo at this point was, I don't want to say washed, but just not at his peak performance, and probably not in the best headspace. But Tsunoda does pretty clearly beat him, 16-9 in qualifying and 12-9 in the races, outscoring him 37-18. Not bad, not bad. Again, just clearly ahead of him, and this is obviously this year as well, or between this year and last year, I guess. And Tsunoda and Lawson. So currently, I guess again between the 2 years they've been together, since again Lawson went in for Ricardo at Zandvoort. Lawson, Yuki outscored him in qualifying 10-1 and finished ahead 5-4. And their rationale was that Lawson showed better race pace. 8-6 in points, that's not great, but God. And this is and out of all the interviews, and I watched quite a few of Christian Horner, he didn't for some reason they're not really saying a lot about Yuki Tsunoda. They're not really giving a very solid reason. The best he had to say was, "Well, Yuki has done 4 years with our sister team. He's a driver that's growing inexperienced. That's not growing and experience anyway, and doing a good job." Well, that couldn't be less of a fucking endorsement, huh? And what's also ridiculous is why are we gonna fucking play around like Yuki Tsunoda? Like they're even giving him a chance by giving him the Pirelli tire test in Abu Dhabi after the final race, and then they already knew at that point they were going with Lawson. There's no way that tire test was gonna sway them one way or the other unless Yuki beat the field by like a second, which just wasn't gonna happen. Um, I don't like this. I don't think it's going to end well. I don't. I do think Lawson is more composed, and we'll kind of wrap it up at this point about why Yuki didn't get the spot. It's just the composure. It's the crashing, and from what they've said, it's the adaptability and the quick learning, I guess, of Lawson. And they see his trajectory as being higher than Tsunoda, and that is fair because Tsunoda has been at the sister team for 4 years now, and has shown glimpses of having quickness and speed and was getting into some Q3s and whatnot, but nothing, at least to me, to say that he's going to be a perennial point scorer in the Red Bull. And it's such a bad situation too because Perez set the bar so fucking low this season. He couldn't. Nobody could have done any worse. And I wish that Formula One didn't block the move. I wish they would have let Ricardo take that spot halfway through the season. I genuinely think if they gave Ricardo that spot at Red Bull middle of the season, I think we might still be seeing him as Max Verstappen's teammate next year because imagine that like he comes back in RB and he's doing okay and then gets the promotion. And imagine he just has a couple of good races, man. And he pieces it together. It would have been almost impossible to do worse than Perez did in the last half of the season. So I wish they would have been able to have that and be able to see that through. Now Ricardo's completely turned off to the idea, and it seems like it's pretty much over for him. And the final point is some people are saying that Yuki Tsunoda is a Honda driver, and that's why he's at Red Bull right now, and with Honda switching over and partnering with Aston Martin after this season. There's some speculation that maybe he'll follow them there, but If Lance Stroll's still drooling in that fucking seat, that's not going to happen. Alonso will be there until probably 2026 at least. So, yeah, and sorry to wrap it up again for Perez because we got a little bit of news from him. It's looking like Perez is going to be doing possibly doing hypercar racing for Ferrari. I think they said like he's going to do Le Mans and something else. So I think they said 4 to 5 races we're looking at for him over the course of the season for them in the hypercar for Ferrari. So that'd be interesting, I guess. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I just think Red Bull just keep fucking up, and whoever does their PR needs to just fuck off. They need to get somebody else in there because they just keep making the wrong decisions, man. They keep pissing people off every fucking chance they get, and it's not that hard. Take a note from Mercedes. Mercedes did a good job with Lewis Hamilton. Ferrari did a good job with Carlos Sainz. Take some fucking hints, okay? Like the video, if you like the video, subscribe. I'll be back with more because I'm sure this ain't gonna be fucking over. Peace.